And if you suspect that you have neurodivergent symptoms, this channel is for you. If you suspect that your child may have neurodivergent symptoms, this channel is for you. So, this is part four of why I suspected neurodivergent symptoms and lied to my doctor. And the last live was part three. I talked about being different, and I just did not want to be different. So in part four, we're going to talk about I just did not want to be addicted to prescriptions. So in my family, everyone is always talking about being addicted to prescriptions. Oh, you don't want to do that because you'll be addicted. What's so amazing is uh, no one is taking any prescriptions. So, who are all of these people that they know that's addicted to prescriptions? Because not nobody that I know of in my family was on any prescription drugs. As a matter of fact, they hardly wanted to get help for whatever it is that they suspected that was going on with them. They didn't want to seek therapy, any of that. So, unless they were having major surgery and needed, was prescribed some drugs to recover from the pain, no one that I knew was taking prescription drugs. So, the only thing that I could think of is that they saw it on TV. And I know that sounds crazy, but I really do think family members watch a lot of TV and then regurgitate what they see on TV. They really don't know anything. Of course, they are not experts, but they feel so inclined and emboldened to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. And they haven't done it. They probably don't know anyone that has done it or experienced those things, but they are so keen on influencing you. And I remember this very vividly. Um, my family members talking about getting hooked on prescriptions. And I was just so scared. I mean, even when I had major surgeries, I was really scared on getting hooked on prescriptions. I know when I had a C section and a tubal ligation in one, I had the doctor take out the epidural. So they were giving me um, oral prescriptions, oral pain drugs, as well as the epidural. And I felt really good. Like the next day after giving birth, I felt absolutely normal. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm going to get hooked. And I really need to work through the pain, right? I really need to get through this. And so the very next day, or it might have been 2 days later, I told the doctor that I really don't need this, much pain meds. The oral pain meds will suffice. And I had them take out the epidural. Well, that probably wasn't a good idea because I really struggled just to get from the bed to the bathroom. And so, m- my husband had to help me to the bathroom once they took out the epidural. I mean, just in getting up out of the bed. And when I had the epidural and was taking the oral prescription drugs, I was able to have some independence and autonomy and get up and feel a little good and be able to move about. And it's not like the doctors were going to, have me hooked or anything. They have a schedule and a plan. Okay, this is when we're going to remove you from the epidural. These are the prescribed drugs that we're going to give you so you can, take when you get home. There's no refill on that. You'll take this for so many days. And of course, I wasn't familiar with all of this because I never had major surgery before. So I wasn't familiar with the protocols and how things were done. And so I was really in fear of getting hooked on prescriptions, and I was comparing it to buddies that I have seen that were just smoking marijuana all the time. And I thought, oh my gosh, they are really, really just not going to do anything with their life. They're not going to class. They're failing their classes. They're spending an extra year or two because all they're doing is smoking marijuana. And I thought that's going to be me, right? And I thought prescription drugs were heavier than marijuana. So if they're just sitting around not doing anything with their lives, can you imagine what would happen to me if I'm on something, much heavier? So I equated uh, not getting help. Uh, I equated prescription drugs to um, the effects of marijuana that it has on someone, to basically have them in a laid back, sort of laissez faire mode. And again, of course, I'm not an expert, but this is just my experience and what I saw with my buddies around me, or not really buddies, I guess acquaintances, people in my class, someone I worked with. So they weren't very, close to me. And of course, I went and lied to my primary care physician because I was really scared that he was going to, I'm sorry, she was going to send me to a psychiatrist, and they were going to have me hooked on all of these drugs. And then that drug would cause another side effect, because I would see all of these commercials late at night on TV. And they would say, talk to your doctor about this, and this may cause hypertension, high blood pressure, heart failure. So I was really, really scared of all of those consequences. And I thought, oh my God. And I've seen some people who were taking medications, their fingers were rotted off. Looked, they aged, very quickly. Um, and I knew, of course, I don't know, but I suspected that the aging process was because of abuse, with the prescriptions. And of course, the fingernails and losing your fingernail, that was just, a side effect of the medication. And I was so vain. I was so vain that I did not want to seek help. Um, for my neurodivergency. So I lied to my doctor because I didn't want any side effects from prescription drugs. I didn't want to get addicted to it. And I did not want to age. And I was really scared of getting many drugs, right? And so there was this picture constantly in my head when the doctor would ask me questions, or even if I just felt compelled to open up. Um, I just thought, I just pictured myself, opening 10 prescription drugs, and being in this loop of taking these things, every day. And in my mind, only people who are really sick does that, right? Only old people do that, right? So I had a fear of being sick. I also had a fear of getting old. And all of these thoughts are going through my head. And that's one of the reasons why I lied to my doctor. Of course, now I am only on two medications. So, I mean, I was on about four before, and it does take a little while to get the right cocktail, but that's another video. But four compared to 10, the imagination 10 that was in my head is, a big difference. And then now the right cocktail, and I'm down to two. So clearly, I was overreacting. I was psyching myself up. I was giving myself anxiety. And I was doing all of this and for no reason, right? Because after I sought help, I felt so much better. I was able to get my life back on track. I was able to control my hormone imbalance. I was able to control my manic depression and actually have some consistency in my life and move forward with my life, actually follow through with my goals that I wanted to achieve. So if you guys are, if there's anyone out there that is scared of being addicted to prescriptions, talk to your doctor about it. Talk to your psychologist about it. Talk to your psychiatrist about it. You may not even be on that many prescriptions. You may not get addicted to it, you know? Um, we are not professionals. And I keep saying that in every video. We're not. And what we tend to do is we get on Google, we watch a video, we talk to our friends, we talk to our family members, and then we start diagnosing ourselves. We did not go to school for several years. We did not write master's and doctor dissertation on this stuff. We did not take part in studies that have been done for years and decades, nor did we study studies that have taken place about our symptoms and diagnosis. So the last thing that we should be doing if we suspect that we are neurodivergent is psyching ourselves out of getting help and diagnosing ourselves, or pretending like there's nothing wrong with us and then lying to our doctor. Don't do what I did, okay? So this is part 4 of why I suspected neurodivergent symptoms and lied to my doctor anyway. I will see you in part